You, Coach. You said this one might get a little more interesting tonight with you guys having a short bench, and it definitely fit the bill tonight.
Yeah, it did. We were in a fight for our lives for about 35 minutes, 4 minutes or so. It took us a long time to figure out how to unravel this. And I just talked to the players about, they can feel good about the win because that team got very hot, 7 for 9 from 3, shot it very well. We had a lot of adversity. It takes a lot out of you when you lose 2 starters. And you know that Jeremy Campbell's lost, and he's the ultimate utility guy at Arkansas. He's gone for the year. Andrew Guillory's never been in the picture. That you just all of a sudden you just don't have very many weapons. Forrest Johnson was available, but I just didn't feel like the game was. They were moving too well, and a very well coached team. They did a good job of their motion and running and doing a lot of things really well tonight, including shooting the ball. But the first 10 minutes of the game, we gave up 23 points. The next 10 minutes, we gave up 17, and I was encouraged. But there were some real disturbing numbers at halftime, and part of that is just crushing us on the boards. A lot of offensive rebounds. They were shooting a great percentage. We were trailing a lot, and I'm not sure we wanted to get into the trenches and really fight it out. And what ends up happening, it was a great opportunity. I told the guys at the end of halftime before we came out, not to get philosophical, but I'm telling you, this is an opportunity for you guys to expand who you are and what you do, because AB's not here. And maybe you're not used to doing the jobs he does, but guess what? You better learn tonight. Guards, maybe Jeff Ricard does some defensive things or some offensive things, and you get to stand around. Well, he's not here tonight. And so that really throws you out of sync. We had no substitutes really for our bigs. We played a very small lineup a good bit. They took advantage of that a lot in the first half. We prepared for their motion offense, but clearly I felt bad to a degree because maybe we should have spent some more time doing it. But as you grind it out in practice, Antonio Benton gets hit in the head and has a knot and stitches, and he's out for a week. So how much do you do? How much do you lay off? How much? It's kind of a fine line, plus 3 games in 7 days. But what I love the most is, of the defensive trends, we held them to 25 points for the entire second half. So we figured out some things. We deflected, we stole, we turned it into offense down on this end of the floor. And that was what brought us back ultimately. And I think there was a real, we were concerned, we were tight, and we've not been in that position. We've either played someone like Arkansas or LSU, and we've been down big and having to make the comeback, or we've been in a dogfight with Southeastern Missouri at full strength. This was the first time where we certainly had the ability to win, but we had to find a way down 10 points, down 9 points, and get some scores, get some stops, put together possessions on both ends of the floor, and do it without a bench, without a whole lot of contributions. But we figured out a way to get it done, and really that's how we have to play for the next week or two. Find a way, try to steal wins. It's not going to be easy the next couple of games, but that's hopefully we'll get a little confidence from this tonight.
You mentioned the bench. Jamichael, a huge game tonight, 29 points. And really did a lot of the damage from the free throw line, 13 of 16, and that was huge for you guys tonight, knocking down the free throws when you needed to, especially at the end.
Well, we had to figure out how to close out a game. The only thing I complained about was Dre's turnover with 25 seconds to go. A senior, you can't jump all over him, but that's something he and I have to talk about. We talked about briefly in the timeout, but you got to move on and protect your lead and not turn the ball over again. But we kind of rose to the occasion. We had several guys who seemed to step up to their abilities, and they kind of came down and deflated just a little bit. The 10-minute mark, the 8-minute mark, they became a little bit more human. And, we figured out how to negate their big guys. Everybody was throwing in threes from all over the place in the first half. It took us a while to get that rotation, but we did a pretty good job. And, credit to our team for staying tough in some adverse situations. But Jamichael was terrific tonight. I teased him a little bit, but what a terrific performance by him. We haven't had that kind of a performance since maybe Brandon Fortenberry, and it was very timely. We needed it tonight. There's a lot that we have to do, though. Guys are going to have to fill in roles they've never filled before. Julian Chiara is going to have to find a way to be effective as some sort of a rebounder, as a stopgap. hope he can do it. And I'm sure he wasn't thinking when he came here, but I don't care what you thought when you got here. You know, if we do this right, we can find a way to steal a win or two while we're depleted, then we'll have great experience going into later into January and February. And those experiences and everybody doing different jobs and really sucking it up could really be a benefit to us as we come back healthy and we become whole again. And that's what I'm looking for from us, is to grow and to expand and not stay comfortable. We got through some real tightness. We got through some concern. You can see their look in their eye. We kept pushing. We kept coaching. And the level of the team really doesn't matter. Defending your home court, finding a way to win, this is why you play these games. And hopefully, you know, if we had done this at full strength, I would probably be a lot more concerned. Finding a way in the second half, outscoring them quite a bit, you know, 39-25. You know, I felt good about that for us, and some really nice performances. Jamichael, Devontae doing their thing, and I just wish we had one more big guy to rotate in. We will eventually, but I'm not sure when.
And I would think that a win like this is one that later on in the year you can really look back on and say, hey, you know, remember Spring Hill, remember when we were facing adversity, because whether it be on the road or here at the University Center, these are the kind of games that you're going to face in Southern Conference play.
Well, there's no question about it. As I'm looking here, I was looking to see what we did from a point guard perspective. Josh Fillmore, only, you know, not a lot of assists tonight. 11 assists to 10 turnovers. You know, they give them credit to changing defenses and the way they played, but there's no question we had to grind it out a little bit. What I'm probably most pleased with is we didn't get in foul trouble. But again, they were moving all over the place. It wasn't like they were pounding it inside, so it was a different kind of defense tonight, guarding them. In some weird sort of way, maybe it's a benefit to guard this as you get ready for Nichols at the end of the week, because they're certainly going to use spacing and cuts and down screens, and you know, you're going to have to get used to the rhythm of their, you know, the thing you hope with them is you don't get so far behind that you can't come back, because they're going to have a little bit more depth and a little bit more firepower than these guys were. They've got some pretty good talent, as does McNeese. So, you know, controlling the tempo in the next couple games is going to be big. But I'm most worried we seem to be just getting to a place where maybe we're learning how to get some defensive stops late in the game. We did it tonight, but, you know, now all of a sudden we're doing it without certain personnel, and I worry that we're not going to be able to come up with those. So, I mean, we blended in a little bit of zone tonight, thinking it would help us early in the second half. They got us a couple of stops, but I imagine we might need to incorporate more of that, especially if foul trouble becomes an issue. So there's a lot to think about, but you know what? We finished non-conference play 5-6. We finished with a double-digit win at home. You know, we had some great performances tonight. It's got to feel good for guys to see the ball go through the basket. And now, of course, we go back to the road. You know, that's kind of our life. 1 at home, 2 on the road. But at least now in conference, you knock these 2 out. You find out where you're at after the first weekend, and then the next 16 games, 9 at home, 7 on the road. And hopefully, week by week, we become healthy and whole again and become a team that can compete with just about anybody in the league. But some great performances. Feel good about this going to the new year. And, you know, hopefully we'll find some answers and get ready for McNeese on Thursday night.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you and everybody else, and appreciate the crowd tonight, too. Anybody who's listening on the radio tonight, it was a surprisingly nice little crowd, and I'm glad we were able to pull it out for them and give them a few exciting plays and some nice performances tonight. It was kind of tough for a while, but we came through. So Happy New Year to everybody, and a happy, healthy 2014.
There we go. And good luck on the road in Lake Charles.
Thank you.
Back in